Hi there, how are you?
Very good. Good to see you. All right, here's Tonatiuh, and you have 5 minutes.
Okay, thanks. Awesome. Hi, Tonatiuh.
Hi, Mico. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Congratulations, man. What a
Oh,
performance.
thank you. I appreciate
A
that.
new star in town.
We'll see. We'll see.
No, no, definitely a great performance. And I think you were in, like, your luck came in being in safe hands. An Oscar winner director, Jennifer Lopez and Diego Luna, and you are the cherry on top of the cake. So it was, match made in heaven.
Wow.
Um, Congratulations again. And I wanted to know, like, it was amazing seeing you the first time in two different places with two different personalities at the same time. How difficult and contradicted was the preparation between the two characters?
Oh, well, this was the gift of a lifetime. I know everyone keeps asking me, how hard was it? And I'm like, it wasn't hard, it was fun. I had the time,
That
I've been training for this moment my entire life. I had the distinct pleasure of telling stories now professionally for 10 years. And so it felt like everything that I have trained for and all the lessons that I've learned, all the tools that I have gained, all needed to come in at the same time. And so with Kendall, I went back and I asked Bill to give me every visual reference that he was possibly going to make to go and absorb those worlds to understand his vocabulary. But I'm a cinephile through and through. And so, you know, I thought to myself, like, how can I bring in Gene Kelly's mannerisms and have Errol Flynn's hair and who is a traumatized actor of that time who was closeted. And I was like, Montgomery Clift. Let's bring in that pain of Montgomery Clift for Kendall Nesbitt. And and then we trained, we danced, we I was with some of the best in Broadway to make sure that I was ready and able to dance with the incredible Jennifer Lopez,
wow.
who's a massive talent herself. And then with Molina, I wanted to tell the story of someone who was genderless because I wanted to humanize and center a marginalized community that is constantly being attacked. And so I had to lose 45 pounds in 50 days
My
to be
God, I
able
saw.
to like get live the reality of being inside of a dictatorship, in a prison in a dictatorship, but also to find that femininity and to find this genderless expression. So that way by the very end, that number blows you away because the full spectrum of living was on full display.
It was very interesting to see somebody who's in a depressing place, in prison, and all of this. Yet again, his soul and his fantasy. He lives in a beautiful world, and his love for cinema and all of this, and for movies was kind of like you cannot contain me in those walls. I am free more than anybody outside, and I love this about your character. I love seeing you in both places. So tell me about dancing, singing, and acting. Like triple threat for real.
Well, I've ever since I was a kid, I think if there's good energy, I want to be there. So
Mhm.
it doesn't matter what culture, it doesn't matter what kind of music. If there's good vibes, like I want to learn the dance, I want to be a part of the energy. Um, because life is so delicious,
Yeah.
and we're only here for such a short amount of time, and my hunger for life is insatiable. And there's so much beauty everywhere. And so I don't know, I think this was just a moment where as a cinephile myself, I got to go backwards in time, and how many people get to say that they were in a classic Hollywood film, shot in a classic Hollywood way, it was really incredible.
It's amazing. And like I told Bill yesterday, that was one of the best thing that in the film that you see like Hollywood, the glamour of Hollywood and the grittiness of the prison in Argentina, in the wartime, and in the difficult time where people are suffering and stuff like that. So I wanted to know, did you have any challenges with bringing Molina to life?
The biggest challenge was not eating.
Mhm. That's
Especially because we shot in Uruguay, and I love bread and I love dulce de leche, and everywhere I would look in Uruguay, their number one dessert everywhere was dulce de leche cakes, dulce de leche breads, dulce de leche. So it was one of those moments I was like, oh my God, can the food stop being delicious? I need to not eat, you know? But no, I think one of the most beautiful things about living is that sometimes people who have experienced the most amount of poverty, the most amount of hatred, who've been inside of prisons, have the most open hearts and joy. They may have nothing, but they refuse to be sad about it. They still find joy in smelling the flowers or telling a story or cracking jokes. My parents were immigrants in this country, and yeah, we weren't, I don't come from money. And this has been like a miraculous kind of opportunity for me. But never once did they ever feel sorry for themselves. We always had something to eat. We always were a part of a community. We always were laughing. We were always telling jokes. And I think that Molina, even in prison, refuses to allow themselves to not live fully.
Like they say, we're here for a good time, not a long time. And that's what I love
Exactly.
about the Latino community in America. They are the hardest working community, but yet again, you find them with the cerveza, and every time
Yeah.
they having a party, the music is loud, it's
It's the party
fantastic.
you want to be a part of, baby.
You know, like Latino, yeah, come on, bring it on. So, last question I'm gonna ask you, like, what's next for you?
I don't know. I don't know yet.
What would you like to play?
I love to transform my body. I love
Mm.
to be unrecognizable. I think playing an up I've already done an action film, but I wouldn't mind being in a superhero film. I love dramas. I love sci-fis. I want another project like with Pedro Almodovar or with other incredible directors. I want to live in those kinds of worlds. To like voice a Hayao Miyazaki film would be incredible. To do a Broadway debut would be incredible. To do an album, to write a children's book. I mean, creativity, like my creativity doesn't ever stop. What I need is a good assistant.
I love it. I love your energy. I loved your performance. And thank you so much for your time. And I'm sure I'm going to see you soon.
Very soon, I'm sure.
Take care, my friend. Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye. Bye.
Bye, man.